who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn. Hey, yo, Quad Cities! ESPN 1170 AM, Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. One of the very last few days, maybe, that we'll be having weather like this. 67 right now, supposed to get up to 73. In studio with me, Adam. How are you doing, Adam?
Good. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I want to talk about what's going on here in the sports world. I want to thank you for coming in today and joining me. So
yeah, no problem. Kind of thrilled. I listened to some old school rap thinking I'd get to talk to Troy today too, but
he's in California.
Right. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I know. He's on a little vacation. See, that's what it goes. That's a good relationship. Mookie goes on vacation, he goes on vacation, then they go on vacation together.
Hey, there you go.
And that's a good way to do things. But it's an incredible Tuesday here today. We've got 2 baseball games. We've got 2 NBA games. So we got that going on. It is a Tuesday. We can do a little bit of power rankings in the second hour. I have a little bit of a kind of trivia for you in the second half hour of this hour. So it should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of participation for our listeners on terrestrial radio and on Facebook Live as well. So it's going to be a lot of time. It should be a good time, but we should like that. And I'm not going to give anything away, too much of it. I was thinking about it. Oh, I know what it was. I was preparing for the Monday Night Football game, and a couple trivia questions came out, and I was like, oh, I know the answer to that one. I know the answer. And I was like, wait a minute. What if I went through all this stuff? And the second half hour, we'll talk about it. But first things first, the Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
Boy, wow. Oh boy. Let me tell you something.
How do you feel about your prediction about Derrick Henry now?
That he wasn't, yeah, they were going to limit his carries?
Yeah.
Well, I have the game log in front of me. And, yeah, it's not going down. He started off the first game with 17 carries. Then he doubled that with 35 carries. Then he went to 28 at the end of September, and in October he's gone 33, 29, and 20 carries. He only needed 20 carries for 143 yards last night. He had 3 touchdowns, but he also caught some passes too, which is a big deal. He's currently on pace for 459 carries, which would demolish the record of 416 set by Larry Johnson in 2006.
Yeah, he's a beast this year. I mean, he's put that team on their shoulder. I mean, they were even loading the box up last night, and he was still getting through. I mean, you got to give some credit to that offensive line. I mean, Grable's got those guys, big boys up there, and they're doing their job like they're supposed to. I mean, he doesn't get through a lot of those holes unless it's those guys.
This guy is something else. I thought this would be the one drop off, and I think it's the rule of 270, rule of 370 or something like that once you get to that many carries. But he's got 783 rushing yards through 6 games, which puts him on pace for 2,219. Obviously, there's a 17th game.
Yeah. That strict?
Nah.
No.
The 2,219 would break Eric Dickerson's 37-year-old record of 2,105 and make him the first player with consecutive 2,000-yard seasons. Even if there were only 16 games this year, he is on pace to break the record.
I hope he does it that way. I hope he beats it within 16, so there's no conversation.
To challenge it, not on pace. He would challenge it. He would be not roughly, I can do the math in my head. He'd be 17 yards short. He's on pace for if there are only 16 games, he'd be on pace for 2,088 yards, so he would be 17 short of the 2,105 yards. So even with the 16, he's crazy he's crazy good. Now you have to look at Emmitt Smith's career rushing yards. Yeah.
Emmitt played for a long time.
He is currently at, this is Henry, 102.1 yards per game average since becoming a starter in 2018. He'd need 115 games to surpass Emmitt Smith's 18,355 yards. If he keeps that pace, the NFL keeps a 17-game season, he would pass Smith in the first game of the 2028 season at the age of 34, 1 year younger than Smith when he retired. Boy, oh boy.
The number of carries he's got, too, on him, and how much they rely on him.
Yeah, I don't see...
The defenses are different nowadays.
34 years old running back, I don't see it. Yeah, I'm sorry, like nothing to get. I mean, the guy's a beast. That's the one thing I took out of that. Outside of, well, how's this? That there's a couple other things that happened last night that were just legitimately crazy. Like, instead of kicking the field goal with 22 seconds left, it was 4th and 1. McDermott decides to have Josh Allen run for a yard. He slips and falls, doesn't get there. It's the first time he doesn't come through all game. The Bills' defense just completely went to the wayside in the fourth quarter. There were 7 different lead changes in NFL record.
Yeah.
It was a crazy game, but really out of all those things out of it, it's really Derrick Henry that stood out there.
Yeah, I mean, when you say crazy, I mean, when you watch the ball bounce off a guy's helmet
Mm-hmm.
and then they catch it, I mean, how much more crazy can you get? I mean,
yeah. And if you're betting the Bills and you're -6, all you're hoping for is the field goal and a push, or at least a push, or because they probably wouldn't kick the extra point. At least a push out of that. So, but if you're a Titans fan and you took this +6, which is also strange because now road teams won 9 out of 13 games this weekend, so it went 9-4, and they are. Let me see. On the season, I think 50-39 road teams are.
Yeah, I think I knew it was over 50.
Yeah,
that's just crazy. You would think there'd be more home field advantage this year with everybody being back in the stands and everything, and you're not seeing that. And it's
no. The home field advantage has gone to the wayside. We talked about this before. We don't know if it's like a thing of like if it's the travel is different now. We don't know if it's like that they're taking care of their bodies differently. And we don't know. We can't figure out if it's the fans travel now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that could be 100%. I mean...
And L.A. has yet to establish itself as like a home base for the Rams or Chargers.
I think this year they're doing it, though. I mean, come on. With the Rams having as good a season as they're having right now, I think a lot of people are buying in. I think their L.A. mania is becoming a Rams little city there. Mm-hmm. Call Troy, find out what's going on out there.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a lot of things to say.
I mean, he's a California dreaming fella.
That's right. So, I mean, Week 6 is in the books. We're a third of the way through. In the second hour, I'd also like to talk about where we feel like who the league MVP is, who the Rookie of the Year is, defensive-wide Coach of the Year, and who's on the hot seat type of thing. But we'll do that in the second hour as well. Last night, Red Sox beat the Astros 12-3 to take a 2-1 lead in the ALCS. Boston has 10-plus hits in 6 straight games, the longest streak within a single postseason ever. Schwarber pissed all over a ball for a grand slam, and he knew it.
Yep.
And everyone else did when they saw it. So, I mean, that was crazy.
Remember when I was in here first when baseball started?
Yeah.
And I told you how excited I was for him. And look at him now.
I know.
It just puts a smile on my face. It's like, good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, so we've got a 4 o'clock game tonight. Braves are up 2-0 on the Dodgers. And then a 7 o'clock game, Astros at the Red Sox. Red Sox lead that 2-1. So we've got that. We've got the NBA. How excited are you for the NBA?
I got one word for you.
Sure. There you go.
I felt like Troy right there. I had to put it out there because I feel the same way. I really don't care because all you're hearing on the radio right now is Ben Simmons this, Ben Simmons that, don't want to play.
Ben Simmons and then Kyrie Irving, right? That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's all about their attitude and their work ethic, and it's all this and that. It's like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear about who won. Are the returning champs going to be willing to being able to do it again? Is there other storylines you can cover other than the attitude and unwillingness to want to be a team member or a teammate? Yeah,
but I mean, I guess Simmons, my thing is this: don't be butthurt the entire offseason and then wait 14 days before the season. You have to report to say it. If the coach, if Doc Rivers says, I don't know if he can be the leader on this team, if he can be the point guard, I don't know if he has it after they lose, say it then. I don't know. And then say, well, I don't know if my future is with this team. And that's something we need to address starting tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to, lick my wounds. And then starting tomorrow, I'll talk to the front office. Don't go home and then be like, man, can you believe that? And have everybody tell you, like, yeah, they don't deserve you. I mean, there's too many people giving bad advice out there. And it goes back to yesterday when we talked about Patrick Mahomes and his mom wanting to change the interception rule that it shouldn't be his fault.
Yeah.
Like I say, I mean, that is the problem. If we do that, that's the problem, kind of what goes on in youth sports.
Yeah, it's everybody gets a medal type mentality.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah. Oh, the umpire didn't give you that strike.
Oh, yeah. No, you had to swing at that pitch that you didn't hit because the first two that he called were so far out of the strike zone, you had to make up for it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Where do you draw the line? It's and like I heard on the radio and other people talking about it, is like, okay, with Ben Simmons, why wouldn't you want to put the FU mode on and be like, hey, I'm going to show up and I'm going to show you.
Do that, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'd respect him so much if he just was pissed the entire time. If he said if he just post game his press conference, which you have to show up to, he just does the
Bill Belichick simple, doesn't answer nothing and just goes
moving
out
on
and plays.
Tomorrow night, or I'm looking forward to getting on the bus with my teammates and getting on a flight. Now we got to go to Golden State next game. It's gonna be great.
Yep. Exactly.
Just stuff like that, or like if they're just like, oh, so you kind of struggled free throw, like I couldn't find my rhythm.
Yeah,
just move on.
Yeah, just change the narrative of the whole situation.
Yeah, you guys saw it. I didn't have my rhythm tonight. I can't wait for tomorrow night, though. I'm going to come back and I'm going to come in 15 minutes early.
Exactly.
You'll see,
Or he's the last one in the gym. He's shooting around.
Yeah, just like I'll be that guy. At what point do you? I mean, you've got $1 million contract, multi-year, or whatever else. And at what point do you not feel appreciated? The NBA. Basically, because you sat out because you were hurt, the NBA was like, oh, he's not a rookie. And then he got to win Rookie of the Year his second year in the league.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that. And that's many of things.
But when you change things for people, when you change the narrative or how things normally work for people, then they expect you to change them every time. Well, you did it that time.
Yep.
What's stopping you this time?
Exactly. You're 100% right. And that's ridiculous. And that's why I disagree with so much things the NBA does. I mean, Adam Silver's great at promoting the NBA. I mean,
awesome.
all over the world. I mean, it's a world renowned sport. But as far as like changing stuff, like you said, you just can't do that. If you do something for one player, you have to do it for that. It's just like being a dad. You can't just treat one kid, hey, you get a bowl of ice cream tonight because you got an A on your test, but the other kid, hey, you got an A, but you know what? I'm not going to give you a bowl of ice cream because we're out.
That sounds exactly like my house. Where I'm like, well, I expect that of you. Because we did have parent-teacher conferences yesterday, and I'm not one that's really, really easy. Easy Ray is saying on the Harrington's Pub Facebook commenter, not the first time they've changed someone's rookie status. No, it's not. But I'm just saying it doesn't. The point is, if you change it, you do things, and you get rewarded for it, then it doesn't matter because you just feel like, well, he's not going to, it's not like Ben Simmons like, oh, I joined a list of 3 other people, or the NBA was like, hey, we did it for them, so Ben, we'll do it for you this time. That's not the point. And if you are, like you said, David Silver, you have to be, with these 2 stories going on, the Kyrie Irving one being the worst one, you have to be like, all my work.
Yeah, it's down the toilet.
Yeah. Look, guys, look what I did. I made The Last Dance, and people got excited about basketball, and they were following you when you guys were playing in the bubbles, and then went right in the season, and everyone was excited, and now look what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they had a great offseason. I mean, there was talk about them the whole time, and you're right. They took it and they flushed it. And I really think it's got to do with these player entitlement. And I always question you about this with the NFL. It's like, how long is it going to be until that trickles into the NFL? I hope it doesn't, but I really believe that when you're giving someone that much money, their thought process and their ability to want to become a team member is gone. Like, they're there for themselves. And like you said, they don't have the people in their corners like they used to. Like, Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, those guys, their guys in their corner weren't sitting there going, you need to ask for more money. Why are you doing this? You need to go play somewhere else. Go ask for a trade. Quit playing. Like, no.
Well, let's go back to we go back to we're dating ourselves, but that's okay. We can do that. We'll go to the 94 or 95 Eastern Conference Finals. Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson draws up a play for Tony Kukoc to make the last shot.
Yep.
Play's going in. Scottie Pippen's like, I want to take it. And he's like, well, that's not how the play works. He's like, fine, I won't go in. And they're like, okay. And we didn't turn around and like, Scottie Pippen, you're right. Everyone was like, how dare he not join the team?
Yeah.
And I don't know where we've gone in the 20, 30 plus years where it's like, yeah, that guy totally should take the shot. But when he misses, then we're like, oh, he's not clutch. He's so not clutch. So why did they draw it up? Like it's so weird how quick we turn on all this on these things, or we agree with it. And I don't know. I want to like Ben Simmons. I've much like NFL teams or whatever else. I flirt with the new team every year. I say every year on this show, oh, I'm following this team. Make an announcement. I last about 48 hours. And I'm like, I am not following anymore.
Right.
And I think I picked the 76ers the last 2 years. But it's going back to like what we're saying. Someone's always saying, well, you're in the right. They're wrong. Ugh. Yeah. I'm not that type of person. And she's been on the show plenty of times, and so is he. My kids, they know that I am not that parent. Listen, I will be biased, and I'll sit there and be like, that umpire, I think, and usually it's for someone, I'm like, hey, because my kid doesn't pitch. I'm like, that umpire strike zone was a little bit tighter for us than it was for them.
Right.
But, we have little things like there was a game that we were playing in, kind of close. It was getting their bases loaded, but there were 2 outs. My daughter was on first, and shortstop, hit to the shortstop. Shortstop decides to take the force at second. And there's parents around. My daughter slides in, and it looks like a great slide, by the way. It looks like she's breaking up 2, which it's not on purpose.
Right.
So, but that's what, and so I'm like, and then the parents like, oh, she was safe. I was like, she was out. And they're like, no, she was safe. And I'm arguing with our own parents.
Right.
I'm like, she was out. And they're like, no. And then the coach comes by. He's like, and he's at third base. He's like, I thought she was safe. And I go, you were closer than I was. I'm not going to argue with the coach. But and then I said, afterwards, I say to her, I go, were you safe? And she goes, yeah. And I go, well, look good. Looked like you broke up. If there was a double play ball, it looked like you broke up too. And she's like, well, that's why. She stepped on my foot. She never stepped on the bag.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
There you go. It would have been bang, bang. But she's like, yeah, she stepped on my foot. And then she tumbled over. So it looked like she broke up too. But really, she just kind of, her ankle didn't roll. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it got stepped on.
So it's instead of screaming and yelling at the umpire saying, like, my kid's always right, my kid's always safe, just ask the question, what happened? And explain to you and be like, well, and if she would have said, yeah, I thought I was there, I would have said, well, my opinion, you were out.
Well, let me ask you this. How was her reaction after?
Fine.
See, and that's the whole thing, is that you've instilled in them that, even though you knew you were safe, you got up and you ran to the dugout.
Yeah.
You didn't sit there and argue. You didn't pout. You didn't throw your arms down. You didn't look for mom and dad in the crowd and be like, Mom, Dad, why am I out? Like, I was safe. Like, too many times do I see that now. I told you before, like, I played baseball and then I coached when I got out of school. And when I coached, I got out of coaching because of the parents, because of how ridiculous they put their kid on a pedestal, and they didn't like to hear that little Johnny wasn't the best second baseman ever. Little Johnny's been pitching ever since he was 5 years old, and I've been coaching him. I think I know a good pitcher when I see it. Well, your kid can't even make it to the plate when he's on 60 foot. It's like, hey, he's not a pitcher. He might be a good right fielder.
I know. I love the fact that we're going into a coach's corner here because it's been so long. But I remember when I was coaching or whatever else, and then and it's just like coach pitch, girls softball, maybe first year, 9U or whatever else. And you're just like, and I'm like, you have a post meeting. I'm like, girls, every practice we work on the fundamentals of throwing. You need to do this. And then even though you're talking to 11, 12, 13 little girls, the parent feels like you're talking to just one. So a parent pulls me aside and they'll be like, hey, I just want to tell you something. I'm like, okay, what's that? And they're like, every time she throws with me in the backyard, throws are perfect. And I go, hey, let me tell you something. If I had a nickel for every parent that told me that, I'd have 55 cents because everybody tells me that. And they're like, hey, good math. I'm like, yeah. They all say it, but when it comes down to it, when they come in, like it doesn't, I'm not signaling out your kid. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, guys, overall. Now, I have in the past been like, when I'm really frustrated, been like, how many of you have hitting coaches? And then they kind of look around. I'm like, how many? Raise your hands. And then they're kind of like raise their hand. I'm like, I want all their names because that's not where I'm sending my kid. So,
right. And that's the other thing,
I've
too.
said things that are like that, but yeah.
I know we're going way off topic
here,
but that's another thing, too, like dating ourselves. How many times did we have hitting coaches? How many times did we have pitching coaches? How many times did we have all those extra practices?
Yeah.
We didn't. Our extra practice was going out to the back field, getting our buddies playing home run derby. That was our hitting coaches.
It was a thing. We were talking in between games, too, and I will talk about my daughter, and I want to share another story, too, but I said, I would like you to get up in the box and closer to the plate, strong athletic stance. And she said, why? I said, well, just in case I want to take away the drop ball and the rise ball, and explaining how the rise is coming through the strike zone so that you're swinging and it gets out of the strike zone. You can't hit it. Same thing, drop off a table, if it's good. And she's like, okay. And she had like 2 strikes on her, I think. And her coach is like, back in the box, closer to the plate. And she looks at me. And I'm not coaching, all right? Mm-hmm. I'm in the stands. And I said, don't look at me. Do what your coach said. So she got back in the box, closer to the plate, ropes a hit. And I was like, I don't have all the answers. So if we have to rely on the coaches, what they do. If I sign you up for it and say, like, you're going to be you're the coach, that's it. Now, I may say with them in conversation, I may say in conversation, what's your philosophy? Why back in the box? This is mine, and that's why. But again, I'll tell them, you tell her to wherever you want her to stand.
Right.
And we've been through that before when I was coaching and be like, well, her hitting coach does that. I've been in programs where they're like, if they have a hitting coach, do not contradict the hitting coach. I've been in that. I don't know. I may not have ever had that conversation with the hitting coach where I'm like, hey, what's your philosophy? But at least I'm like, okay, I'll listen to that. And then, because you don't want a parent to be like, I pay this much an hour for it, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my God.
And the other thing that happens is about, the kids and daughters, because you asked, did she pout when she got out? And I said, no. This is another one that get misconstrued. We were playing last year in a tournament, and she had missed a couple tournaments in a row for vacation. And they had some success. And she was just like down. She wanted to be either first or second in a tournament with her teammates. And they underperformed in a tournament. And she was upset. She said, come walk with me. The coaches took it like she had a bad attitude, that she was mad at them. They never once pulled her aside to say, like, what are you in tears about? What are you upset about? Because she would have told them, I wanted to win. I wanted to win with my teammates because I missed these 2 weeks prior. But in turn, they saw her crying and walking with me thinking that she was pouting about everything, and they never asked her. And I mean, I'll remember that forever, that always take the time. Don't always assume that, the parents are bitching about the coaches again, blah, 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 because it's not always the case. There's every once in a while you're going to have a parent who like understands what they're going through. And what I tell you, and I tell everybody this, the best place to coach is in an orphanage. Yeah. It's my favorite thing in the world. And whenever you're talking to a coach, you just go, yeah, the running joke we used to always say, look at the parent, just go, yep, best place to coach is in an orphanage. And they all just look at you, and then you go, okay. And you kind of, if you can take that mentality, it's great. Same thing with, sorry, guys, and we're moving, we will get more into sports, but the idea of you going into a parent-teacher conference and you're automatically on the defensive is
I noticed
ridiculous.
That too. Yeah, I noticed that too.
I had a parent-teacher conference yesterday. Some of the behaviors that my son have are not. He's not a bad student. He's not disruptive. He's not whatever else. But the reply that I got was that maybe he shuts down if he doesn't want to do something, And I said, okay. I said, well, let's figure out like what his triggers are, because there's no pattern to it. All right. So I said, I'm going to ask him what he thinks. I'm not going to say on the spot, answer me. I'm going to say, I want you to think about it. I said, well, then we'll come up with something. But I did say to her, I said, I'm not going to have you check in with me every week and tell me how his behavior is. And nor am I going to send you an email every week. I'll talk to him. Because you've got other things to do than reporting to me on if he's being upsetting classroom management or not.
Yeah, you'd hope that she's paying attention to, the other 14, 15 kids in her class.
Yeah. And she was kind of like, yeah, okay. And I never get it. I wish I would have, to be honest with you. First year teacher. And I wish I would have said the same thing I say almost to every teacher that I have, and that is, we're going to have one agreement here. Now we're in this parent-teacher conference, and that is, if you only believe 10% of the things that happen, if you only believe 10% of the things that my kid says happens at home, I'm only going to believe 10% of the things that my kid says happens in school, and the rest of it, we know that they're just full of it.
Yeah,
and we're going to have a great and as a first-year teacher, it's something that she should remember and take with her, and that's something I actually took from my years of teaching or whatever else. And but yeah, I guess that's what it's getting to. But on the other end, and before we go to break, I had this conversation at the gym today, and it was about Kyrie Irving. And I said, I don't really care what he's doing. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, listen, he's got teammates he needs the answer to. He basically kind of recruited Kevin Durant to go to Brooklyn, and then they got James Harden. But he's losing a lot of money. And he says it's not about money. It's about personal choices and what he wants to do. And these people, and the guy was like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of money. He must have it. And I was like, it's not about money. And I go, and on top of it, he could start a podcast tomorrow, and some crazy right-wing conservative would figure out a way to sponsor that, and he would be getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
So he could do a podcast tomorrow, talk about everything about basketball under the sun, and also talk about his beliefs to not get vaccinated and what he's found and his findings and everything else. He's going to be just fine. It's a distraction. Completely.
Yes.
Because now wherever Brooklyn travels, if he gets to be a part of them when he travels, then it's going to be brought up at other markets.
Yep.
And every time there's a home loss, do you think you would have won?
Yeah. Anytime there's a loss.
Yeah.
And he's not there. Well, if he would have got the vaccination, would he have been?
Hey, KD, has he texted you lately?
Yeah.
Hey, KD, don't you have any influence over your friend?
Yeah.
To do that? And I was like, I don't care.
What's the leadership like in Brooklyn? Why can't they talk him into it? Or there's all them narratives that, just like you said, is a distraction. It's exactly what it is.
And it's, you can go on Elite Sportsbook. You can bet futures if you like to do all that stuff. Bulls are supposed to be looking pretty good. Like I said, we have Major League Baseball tonight. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to do trivia, okay?
Yeah.
And it has to do with all 32 NFL teams. So,
holy smokes.
Yeah. So, and then people at home can play along. If you're in the car, play along on Facebook Live. But we're going to do that after we take a break here. ESPN 1170 AM. Yeah. I just had to make sure I had to get my R-bar plug in there for the Twins. Yeah.
There's a question mark on your teleprompter.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I've been earning and burning, snapping necks and cashing.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
Hi, this is Derek.
And this is Skip. We are the twins from R-Bar Davenport.
And you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
On ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Julian Vandervelde, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
It's the final mud race and sand drags of the season. This Saturday at Cordova International Raceway. Registration is from 8 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. and racing starts at 11 a.m. Admission is just $15, and kids 12 and under are free. 100% payback in over 600 feet of shutdown. Head out to Cordova International Raceway this Saturday for the final mud race of the season. For more information, please visit racecir.com or search Cordova International Raceway Mud Racing on Facebook.
Don't let the holidays sneak up on you for that hard-to-buy-for person. Let Premier Metal Art customize the perfect gift today. Multi-layered, full-color, powder-coated metal art, plus so much more. Tumblers, fire pits, even holiday decor and keepsakes. Let them customize the perfect gift for the sports fan, first responders, veterans, and family members on your list. Order online at qcpremier.com. Find them on Facebook or stop by their cash and carry location inside of Mattress for Less in Rock Island. Premier Metal Art. Finish your holiday shopping today.
So as you guys know, Mark's gone.
The float artist at Fred's Floral just took off, days before the parade. They need a replacement before business passes them by.
And who am I going to get to finish the float?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything it has at you. And to succeed, you need someone to guide you through. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice to help you navigate whatever challenges you're up against and get you safely to where you want to be. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Elite Sportsbook is offering a $20 free bet for those who place at least 3 wagers of $50 or more on college football matchups. Just place your bets Thursday, Friday, or Saturday and select weekends in October to qualify. That's up to $60 in free bets available in October. Plus, new signups can take advantage of their first bet being risk-free up to $500. Download the app today and play your game with Elite Sportsbook. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
We're gonna eat pizza from Casey's and watch the football games. Yeah, enjoy the with delicious Casey's Pizza. 2 tasty pizzas for big game days.
Now at Casey's, you can get 2 large single-topping pizzas with delicious made-from-scratch dough for $9.99 each with promo code DOUBLE.
Casey's here for good, yeah!
Your station for Cyclone basketball. The Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Welcome back here, ESPN 1170 AM. Don't Hassle Us Local. Adam's in the studio with me. We just got done with our whole rant about everything else. It's good because we haven't had a kind of a coach's corner, but it is a little bit crazy about how these athletes that we're raising are growing up into, like, I don't like my contract even though I signed it type of thing. And there is other things going on. Rarely do I mention this. I feel like last week. Now I'm getting into. I don't usually get too much into Twitter of like replies and stuff like that. I may make fun of like Chase Utley and the Major League Baseball. That's my own personal one. Instead, I use the QC Hassle because I've actually had it with these high school barstool accounts. Like it's just the dumbest thing. They're passed on anonymously every year, and to another senior, and they get away with saying some very offensive things sometimes. And then they just go, someone else, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Anyway, yesterday, Barstool Bettendorf, because they're playing Davenport North, and the winner basically is getting into the playoffs. Neither one would be in the playoffs if the playoffs weren't expanded, but that's okay. I guess we're going to flex on, instead of, and we're going to flex on that, it's expanded and blah, blah, blah. But, and I think that, let's see, Pleasant Valley, I think they've got 3 losses. Bettendorf does. I mean, 6-3 was like that. When I grew up, was like Davenport West. Right. We were 9-0, so 6-3. I'm like, okay, and nothing against Davenport West, but I'm just saying that's you made it in there, and they're like, but they're flexing on Davenport North, and they wrote, "Hey, at Barstool D North, I hope y'all know your season is over." I love that it can't spell your; it's UR. Maybe next year you guys can win your UR, not YOUR, first game ever against us. Hashtag S-word ass program. All right. There's no need for that.
No.
And so I wrote, you have 4 years to leave your legacy at BHS, and this is what you do with it. Sad. And, Anderson is on the show. He wrote, he's like, I agree. These Barstool accounts are out of control. They're offensive to kids, families, coaches, and school staff, and administration. It's easy to hide behind a handle keyboard. I don't know where the Pleasant Valley one got off on this, but the person writes Jason and spells Jason wrong. I mean, it clearly is spelled right there in his Twitter, but oh well. It says, Jason, let us have some fun, hop off. And then Barstool Bettendorf replied back to me with snowflakes, GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to call them. And all right, I don't really think I'm a snowflake, but okay. I'm pretty sure if I kept it up, your parents would be writing an email to the station, be like, "How dare they're writing?" I'm sure, yeah. I guess you're supposed to be anonymous, but why wouldn't? And by the way, I can figure out within 2 phone calls who's behind this and blast her, and they're no longer anonymous. But I have other things to do than to rat out a 17-year-old. But
that's probably going to come back and haunt them with their next career.
It would take me less than 2 phone calls. I know who I'd call right now. I would know who the person is, and they'd be like, "Yeah, it's this person."
That just questions me and baffles me that you see so much out there of all these people get in trouble for stuff that they posted when they were younger, and why can't you get a hint hey? It's not that important to put that stuff out there. Nobody's going to look at that and go, "Oh my God, he's so right. Yeah, good for him."
That leads a great question, because here's what I was thinking about. If this is truly passed down by senior to the next senior every year, if it is, this has been going on since January 2018. I would like them to personally reach out to the previous account holders and say, how many of those tweets do you regret you posted now that you're a little bit older, a little bit wiser in the world, a little bit, not a lot, because at the best you could probably have a 21-year-old if you're lucky. But I would assume it's they'd be like, yeah, I feel terrible about 70% of them, if not more. I was out of line. I shouldn't have said what I said about his mom or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah.
Once you get older, you're just like, I can't. But then on top of it, I can't imagine, because we didn't have this when I was a kid.
No, yeah. I mean, what was it? AOL came out right when I was like a junior or something like that, AOL Messenger. But anyways, yeah, you just think with everything that goes on nowadays with, well, we found this and this. Well, John Gruden. I mean, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
They went searching. I mean, they literally had someone looking for dirt on this guy, and they finally found it. And
did you see that meme or whatever else that someone wrote that entire like halftime show of the Super Bowl has more offensive lyrics than John Gruden's emails, and everyone's like super jacked up about it halftime. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's really, really good. Now that I think about it, I'm like, ooh, I'm like, there's
especially this year's halftime show.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was like, there's some questionable Eminem songs in there that I'm thinking right now in my head that I can recite. So
let's going off that real quick. How many people do you think's going to trickle down from those emails?
Oh, they said that they're like they couldn't find anything else.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, they said over the weekend. It was like, yeah, there was nothing else in there. Like 650,000 emails, and there was nothing else in there. Like
from a
Bruce
reply.
Allen never says LOL. That's the one thing I was like, Bruce Allen never just wrote back to his drinking buddy Gruden LOL.
Yeah,
And then the other thing, it's so weird. It's like I want the Raiders to like win in spite now, to like win out, but it's. You know, Simmons brought this up on his podcast, and they were and Cousin Sal, they were talking about it, and they're like, Deuce Gruden is still the strength and conditioning coach. Like,
yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Where's your loyalty like that? He's like, Dad, sorry about your luck. Yeah. But guess they're still, I mean, they're working on a payout for him.
How's Christmas dinner?
Yeah, I'm sure he's like, keep getting employed, son. Yeah. Don't worry about it. We're going to be working the XFL no time at all.
There you
go. Okay, so yesterday, before the big game, the Monday Night Football game, there was some questions on the ticker, and I was like, oh, yeah, I know that. And I like that they brought up the Music City Miracle. There was a punt that they tried to do something similar to that. Tennessee did. And that was a Music City Miracles in 99. And there was a question that came up, and it was, who is the career rushing leader for the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans?
Man.
So we're going to go through all 32 teams.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me here.
I'm going to have you and the people out here guess. Have you guys out there on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, or if you're listening in your car or whatever else as you go. So I got them both. Now, and then the other one was, who is the Buffalo Bills all-time rushing leader? Do you have a guess for either one of them?
I was going to say Warren Moon.
Rushing leader, not passing.
Oh, okay. I can't remember the Houston Oilers, because that's probably where he was from.
You spent time with both.
Did he?
That's why. That's what was a giveaway.
Yeah. I can't answer it still.
It was Eddie George.
Oh, gee, yeah. How? Not so like an idiot.
It's listen. It's right on the spot. I didn't give you anything at all where I was like, "Hey, check this out. Go ahead and look at this for me." Okay. Do you know for the Buffalo Bills?
I got Sanders stuck in my head for some reason, but it's not. No.
For the Buffalo Bills, Thurman Thomas.
I wasn't going back that far.
See, sometimes you're going to have to. Now we'll do the easy ones. We'll get the harder ones. Dallas Cowboys.
Emmett.
It is in fact Emmitt Smith. 17,162 yards. He was a Cowboy from 1990 to 2002, and then the one day when he signed a one-day contract, which I'm against. The Chicago Bears.
Walter.
That's right, from 1975 to 1987. 16,726 yards. The Detroit Lions.
Barry Sanders.
It is Barry Sanders from 1989 to 1998, 15,269 yards. Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers. They were in San Diego when he was there, by the way.
LaDainian Thomas.
Yep. LaDainian Tomlinson, 2001 to 2009, 12,490 yards.
Great fantasy player, by the way.
Mm-hmm. The Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, this one's tough.
Yep.
You go with Jim Brown, or that's what I have to go with, or OJ.
OJ was on the Bills
and
then
the Bills, yeah.
Rams. It is Jim Brown.
Okay.
1957 and 1965, 12,312 yards. This one's interesting. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
You want to jump out and say Le'Veon Bell right away.
You mean the bus?
Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the one, but it is not. I was shocked by this one. I thought it would be the bus as well. It's Franco Harris.
Yeah, well, I would have missed that.
72 to 83, 11,950 yards. Minnesota Vikings.
Adrian Peterson.
The Russian leader for the Minnesota Vikings is, in fact, Adrian Peterson. 2007 to 2016, 11,747 yards.
A monster before that knee injury.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
I have to go with Robinson right now. I mean, that's the only name that's sticking in my
This
head.
guy had 9 years with him. I know. That's weird. Yeah, like 9 years. And I still would, if I was in a time machine, I was like, no, there's no way. I know someone who's better than him. I would have said all along Tavion's better than him. So
Yeah.
it is Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor. Yep.
11,271 yards, 1999 to 2008. 49ers.
49ers. Oh, man, that's another tough one. I'm drawing a blank on 49ers.
I don't know if he's still in the league or not. He played for the 49ers.
Frank Gore.
Yep, Frank Gore. 2005 to 2014, 11,073 yards.
Yeah, wasn't he up in Buffalo last time?
I believe so, yeah. New York Giants. Like, this is probably to be like, well, now Saquon or whatever else, but probably be the only one after a while thinking about it. I've been like, oh, yeah, that's the only one I can name. And he played from 1997 to 2006.
Well, I was thinking 80s.
I was trying to think, too, who the guy was when they had the, like
The
Super Bowl in
run,
87
yeah.
type of thing, and I was trying to do that as well.
I don't know. Drawing a blank.
Tiki Barber.
I don't know why that name drew a blank with me.
10,449 yards. The New York Jets.
Curtis Martin.
That is correct. 1998 to 2005. 10,302 yards. Los Angeles / St. Louis Rams.
Falk.
You would think. But it is not. Played for them for 8 years, 2004 to 2012. We all had him on our fantasy team at some point. I believe he went to Oregon State. I believe.
I would have lost that bet 100 times over. Marshall Falk.
Yeah. Steven Jackson.
Yeah, I still would have lost that. Even though you told me that what it was, I still don't believe you.
10,100. I still don't believe 138 yards. Seattle Seahawks. Played from 2000 to 2007.
I'm drawing a blank on that one.
He also was a fantasy stud. Former Alabama running back as well. He's on the cover of EA College Football, too. NCAA. Sean Alexander.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
9,429 yards. Indianapolis Colts. Isn't this the man that they traded to get traded Falk away for? It is.
I'm drawing a blank there.
1999 to 2005, 9,226 yards. Edgerrin James.
Oh, see, you're saying these names, and I'm like, oh, duh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I love that they're editing all these things up there to like make it current when it really doesn't matter. But with the Raiders, you have to do it like multiple times. Las Vegas / Los Angeles / Oakland Raiders
/ Los Angeles.
Yeah. Played from 82 to 92.
Bo Jackson.
No.
What?
Bo Jackson, no.
Erroneous.
Bo Jackson won the Heisman in 85. This guy this guy played from 82 to 92.
It doesn't matter. Bo Jackson got it.
That's right. I agree. Yeah. If Bo Jackson would have been hurt, it would have been. So we're just going to give them the asterisk. It's Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
8,545 yards.
Does he have Kansas City's too? No, he wouldn't have Kansas City's.
We'll get to that. Green Bay Packers? Played from 2000 to 2006. Former Nebraska running back.
Yep, drawing a blank.
Amon Green.
8,322
yards. Gosh, some of these names where I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember it, but I would have never. Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh, got a jersey sticking out in my head. I can't think of the name though. Was he playing with Boomer at the time?
97 to 2003.
Nope. No.
I'm gonna pull up. It is Corey Dillon, 8,061 rushing yards. That's not that many.
No.
So I'm actually looking up right now where Joe Mixon is on that list.
He's got to be close.
Okay, here we go. Give me the, come on, Pro Football Reference or whatever, internet, just get moving here. Had it. Hate it when I'm trying to find something, it just gets temperamental. All right, we'll come back to that. Arizona/St. Louis Cardinals, 1979 to 1986, this guy played for them.
No.
And then I think he went on to the Giants. So, Arizona/St. Louis Cardinals, all-time rushing is 7,999 yards, and it is Otis Anderson. All right. Mixon's only got, he's just under 4,000. And I mean, he's not just under, he's about 250 yards under 4,000, so 3,745 yards. He was drafted in 2017. He needs another 4 years or more to be the all-time Bengals rusher. Baltimore Ravens. I don't think this is a good guy.
No.
2000. No, he says 2000 to 2006, 7,801 rushing yards. Huh?
The elevator incident. What the heck is his name?
Yeah. Someone wrote face puncher. Razor Hayes said face. Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Denver Broncos.
What's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Sarge did the salute after every.
1995 to 2001.
The heck was his name?
Terrell Davis. Very good.
Yes.
Washington football team. Known as the Washington Redskins when he was a running back for them. He played from 76 to 1985.
I'd say was it? No. Don't got it.
7,472 yards. It is John Riggins.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
Carolina Panthers. Nope. I would have never even thought twice about it. It would have been like 2008 to 2017, 7,318 yards. Jonathan Stewart.
I would have not have guessed that. Christian McCaffrey's got. He's gonna get that.
And then you see some of these names, you're like, that's all they had. All right, Kansas City Chiefs.
That was another Terrell, wasn't it?
No, it was another Jamal.
Jamal, yeah. Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Charles.
Charles, yes.
2008, 2016, 7,260 yards. Philadelphia Eagles.
Snot Jackson. I don't know.
LaShawn McCoy.
6,792
yards.
Was he another day contract?
I think so. It was Miami Dolphins.
Nope.
Played from 68 to 74. Oh, and then he came back and played in 79.
Oh, now that you give me those years, I definitely don't know it.
Larry Zonka. Boy, oh boy. 82 to 88, he played for the Atlanta Falcons, and he is the current all-time rushing leader for the Falcons. 82 to 88. 6,631 yards. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's been that long. Come on.
Michael Vick had to be on pace to beat that.
Gerald Riggs.
Yeah. Never guessed that.
Houston Texans.
I am a failure at life.
2000. No, you're fine. This is.
I feel like I'm in the SATs right now.
I know.
I know the answers. I just can't get it on paper.
It's he had 6,472 yards. Arian Foster.
Okay. Yep.
The New Orleans Saints.
It wasn't Ricky Williams.
Nope. This guy played from 2001 to 2008. 6,096 yards.
Nope.
Deuce McAllister.
Deuce. Yeah.
There's no way the Tampa Bay one. This guy plays from 81 to 89, 5,957 yards.
Vinny Testaverde.
I love the guess. James Wilder. Not to be not to be confused with Matthew Wilder, who's saying "Break My Stride."
I'd like you to do this with Troy. See how many he could get.
He'd be off on a few. Like, here's one. So the New England Patriots running back, who has the all-time rushing yards, played from 73 to 82. 5,453 yards. I would be like, I don't know. It's Sam Cunningham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we could come back and we can do the passing one or whatever else, but we got to take a break here quick, real before the end of the hour. I want to remind everybody to join our Bar's Text Club to get exclusive offers and updates sent straight to your phone. You will also receive event announcements, new recipes and content, contests, and giveaways, much more. Text RBAR to 1-833-302-2216. Visit textrbar.com to sign up as well. So you can either text RBAR to 1-833-302-2216 or go to textrbar.com to sign up. That's RBAR there on Utica Ridge. Our friends Derek and Skip have been in a couple times. They're the twins there. Go see them at the RBAR in Davenport on Utica Ridge Road. We'll be right back here. Don't Hassle Us for Local, ESPN 1170 AM.
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Can I get a weight reading on the cat in exam 3?
Zuri needs a new vet tech after their current one literally moved to a farm.
Snap-to-tail checkup is waiting.
But finding an ideal replacement takes some training.
This is like herding cats.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
For homemade style, made from scratch everyday Mexican food, go to Nally's Kitchen. Handmade tortillas, gorditas, guarachas, guisados, guacamole, freshly made salsas, 1-pound burritos, and so much more. Dine in or pick up at Nally's Kitchen on Rockingham and Division and their new location on East 53rd Street in Davenport next to Shell. Find them on Facebook for daily specials. Nally's Kitchen, old-fashioned Mexican food, Rockingham and Division, and now East 53rd Street in Davenport. Call or order online at nallyskitchen.com.
When you open an essential business checking account at First Midwest Bank, you'll earn a $500 bonus. But that's not all. You'll also have your own local banker who knows your business. A $500 bonus plus a local bank to help you succeed. That's banking with momentum. Visit a First Midwest branch to open an essential business checking account by November 30th, 2021. $100 minimum deposit to open. Available to businesses located in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Must complete all bonus requirements to be eligible. Details available at firstmidwest.com/smallbiz, member FDIC.
Football, tennis, cross country, golf, soccer, volleyball, water polo. Fall sports are back at Augustana College. And the best way to watch sports is with all your friends, alumni, and fans of the men's and women's teams of the Augustana Vikings. Kickoffs and season openers are afoot as the stars of Augustana College take to the field, the courses, and court of the Carver Center and lace up those shoes for an amazing season that we've all been waiting for. Check complete fall schedules at augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
Over the past few years, people in the Quad Cities have been buying online more and more. Now, since the pandemic hit, online sales have absolutely skyrocketed. Having an online presence was important before, but now it's an outright necessity. But don't worry, MyLocalCustomers.com is here to help. All you need to do is go to MyLocalCustomers.com to receive a free competitive analysis to see what Town Square Media can do for you. We'll help you find more local customers online and help grow your business faster. Town Square offers premium website services that get you new leads every day, plus a dedicated marketing specialist who will work with you the whole time, so you don't have to mess with updating a website. It's fast and easy with no contracts. so you can cancel at any time. Be one of the first to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising on ESPN 1170 AM. As a business owner, you know how hard it is to get people to cross a bridge to get to your business. These days, they don't need to. Find your customers and keep your customers. Go to mylocalcustomers.com.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Fantastic finish in Tennessee, trailing by 3 in the final seconds. Bills driving down to the Titans' 3-yard line. Bills can send the game to overtime with a field goal, but instead they went for the win. And Josh Allen came up just short on the QB sneak as the Titans beat the Bills 34-31. Not to be outdone, Derrick Henry, who finished with 143 yards and 3 touchdowns, his 5th straight 100-yard game. Elsewhere, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport says Dak Prescott is looking good after an MRI on his calf. The Cowboys quarterback said he came down funny on the final play of the Cowboys' OT win versus the Pats. The plan is for Dak to rest and rehab during the team's bye week. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
I'm pretty sure our new house might be haunted.
What makes you say that?
The furniture is levitating. Oh, and the ghost.
Welcome home.
Yeah, that's spooky.
You know what's really scary? Missing out on Geico for help with homeowners and renters insurance. Geico makes it easy to save a bunch.
Great! You're not sticking around, right?
The party's just getting started.
Happy Geico Week. Call today and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
Wave your black flag. Your new home of White Sox baseball is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. Adam's in studio with me. Just got done with what Adam compared to taking the SATs or the ACTs all over again, trying to guess the leading rusher of all 32, of the franchise leading rusher of all 32 teams in the NFL, and it gets a little goofy here and there. Like there's some obvious ones, but then at the end when you have like Tampa Bay Buccaneers or what was it? No, the Patriots, James Wilder. Yeah. Like, all right, whatever. Good job. And it's been that long since they've had anyone close to even getting a franchise leader. So it just started one of those bottom line things that I like to see, and it was a trivia question. I was like, that's really interesting to look it up, and looked it up, and I was like, that's something to do. So maybe in the second hour here, maybe we'll do the passing one or whatever, see if we find any crazy ones there. But ESPN has come out with their power rankings. It's a Tuesday, so that usually, we got a phone call. Love it. All right. ESPN 1170 AM, who we got?
Hey, Jay, this is Eddie.
Yo, what's up, Eddie? How are you?
Hey, first-time caller, long-time listener. Don't I have to say that to be legit?
Yeah, I think so. I love it, though.
Hey, you're just ending the NFL thing, and it's Vikings-Cowboys week.
Uh-huh.
So I wish Troy was in there, but we have a pretty good bet going. We have a Friendsgiving coming up, and when the Vikings beat the Cowboys, which they will because Dak Prescott is limping around already.
Okay.
Troy, when anybody says, Troy, do you have an announcement to make, he has to tell me that I am way smarter than him at picking football picks and that the Dallas Cowboys are not America's team.
So during Thanksgiving weekend, when you guys are all getting together.
Nope, this is coming up the 5th or 6th. A bunch of us are getting together, and anytime anybody announces, Troy, don't you have an announcement to make?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he has to say.
Now,
and there's going to be numerous people there saying it.
So. On the other end, what do you have to do?
Jay,
okay.
No, not the other hand. The other hand is the opposite, so we're not going to do that.
It's not going to happen, right?
America's team.
Because you're saying it's not going to happen, so.
So I just thought I'd throw that out there. And also the guest on my little phone screen looks a lot and sounds a lot like Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think that's a good thing.
You saying Adam sounds like Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, and on my little screen with the way the shade is in the studio for my screen, it looks like him with the hat.
You do kind of, yeah.
Oh, no,
now that I
come
see
on
it,
now.
yeah, the beard. He's right. Now that I look
no.
down on this little screen here on our Sling Studio app or whatever else,
not good.
You got a little beard going. Yeah, I see that. He's not
good.
he's not wrong.
I won't
Interesting.
take up a bunch of time. I just
Sure.
wanted to tell you that the show's great. I love how you get off the sports thing when needed. And if possible, could I give a shout-out to my John Deere union striking workers in your area from our local 838 here?
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a pretty tough fight, but I know you have a lot in your area. If you guys see them out and about, give them a honk and a thumbs up.
Can I ask you a question? The area you're up in the Waterloo, Cedar Falls area, right?
Yeah.
Are there a lot of businesses that are doing discounts for the striking workers like they are here?
It is overwhelming, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
None of us could believe it. I mean, in the past, it's always the greedy John Deere worker, and I think people are finally seeing the corporate thing with, hey, you got to share some of that money, corporate. And so it's been overwhelming. I'm telling you, we were supposed to do one strike duty, but numerous people are doing more than one to go out and stand the line with the other union brothers and sisters. So and every day people are dropping stuff off, water, and they're just showing support. But honking, I didn't think honking would be a big deal, but it doesn't. I mean, it really is a big deal just to give them a honk and a thumbs up or a fist out the window or something. I mean, we get the other side of it too, but that's all right. That's fewer and farther between.
Sure.
So I just got a question for you. Do you guys, are you allowed to have family members come out there with you too, or is it just strictly union members?
Yeah, we are, and some are. Some are bringing their family members out for the earlier ones. My shift is 7 at night to 11, and I got a pretty remote gate to do my shift, so I wouldn't take mine out there just because you never know in this day and age. But, yeah, I mean, I'd say there's some more family-friendlier times and gates to take their family to, and they have been.
Yeah, I just think it's awesome that everybody's coming together. I mean, if the cause is what it is, just as long as everybody is pitching in and coming, not everybody's as one, I guess.
Yeah, and Eddie, like you said, it's overwhelming. I mean, to be honest with you, when I'm not very well educated and stuff, I'll be the first to be like, I don't know, but I don't remember, I remember in the 80s or whatever else, there were a lot more strikes. My grandfather was really big in UAW, so I know a lot about the history of the whole thing. But this is the one time because you said it's overwhelming. It's one time one of the few times that we can point out that social media is doing a good thing. There people are reaching out and they're like, hey, they're tagging you guys, saying like, if you guys need anything, let us know. We're offering discounts and everything else. And so that's a good thing to see. I know the guys at 97X, they put something on their posts, their blogs, saying like, here's all the places that are supporting the union and whatnot, so all the businesses. So I think that's a good thing for social media. So as much as we can point out the flaws in it, we have to say the good as well.
Yeah, and social media is what helped our locals, like our local here and your local there.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't have, the top dogs had opportunity to talk to each other. But it wasn't easy for us to talk to that local there and say, hey, what's going on with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Social media immensely helped this. So, but I agree with you. It ain't always the best, and you're always going to have your naysayers, and that's their opinions, We just got to, nobody's out here flipping cars and catching stuff on fire like everybody thinks the strikes are. We've been level-headed for the most part. You're always going to have some knuckleheads, but
I think
that's been a good thing.
I think that's just the TV coming out. Like people here, I mean, there hasn't been a strike around here for how long?
That's what I'm saying.
And then all you have in your mind is what you've seen on like Sopranos or something, or something you see on TV. And
well, I won't keep you guys. I just wanted to call in. I never have, and I thought now would be a good time because you got a lot of strikers over in that area, and I know they're sports fans too. So
perfect. Yeah. No, I appreciate you thinking about us. Yeah, no problem, Eddie. Appreciate you, man, and good luck out there. We support you.
All right, thank you.
Yep, take care. All right. It's Eddie up in Waterloo, Cedar Falls or whatever. And they're again, it's one of those things I don't know too much about. I understand I don't know. The thing is you get fed this stuff through the media, and you're like, okay, I just will have to agree. Like the CEO got like 160% raise or something like that. I'm like, okay, I don't really know what the ins and outs of all of it is, and it's not that I won't sit and listen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. If someone was like, "Oh, this is why we're doing it," I'm like, "Cool, I'll ask questions." But that's just my nature of who I am as a curious individual. Like, well, what is going on? But I'm not, Eddie and some other people. We never really sat down and discussed like what the ins and outs of the whole thing is. So.
And anytime you get to exercise your right and your voice, go for it.
But if this was the NFL strike, we would know everything that's going on. We'd be like, exactly. Can you believe this?
This is what they're looking for.
Yeah, we would know all that stuff. And so I guess what I'm saying is that maybe I should, when I step out of the doors here at Town Square Media, every once in a while, I should stop and try to figure out what's going on in my neighborhood, in my backyard, instead of, which there probably will be an NFL strike coming up here soon, instead of figuring that one out instead. But you know what? We will look at the power rankings here and agree, disagree for the ESPN. But Easer A's asked something on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, and I think, which one would you rather do after we look at the power rankings? Would you rather do franchise home run leaders, Major League Baseball, or would you rather do franchise passing leaders, NFL?
I'd have to go passing leaders because home run derbies or home runner leaders, I think that could get a little dicey for me, especially like the Reds. Can you name the Reds one right now?
Adam Dunn.
Dang, that's impressive.
I don't know if that's true or not.
You buffaloed me.
Eric Davis would be right there too.
Yeah, that's who I thought. But
wouldn't Johnny Bench be up there as well? Because he had yeah. So those ones are there. Yeah, if you
I think it's a good one. I think that's something we should do. Definitely.
Yeah, because there's some like right away that you're like, oh no, that's got to be like Pujols would be the Cardinals, right?
Right.
So you have that, and then
no,
he's not.
Would it be Mark McGwire?
Pujols has to be.
I'm just saying though.
When did McGwire get traded to them? He played for the A's from ¡88 to what? 96 maybe.
96, I think.
He's only got like 5 years. Pujols had like 10.
Yeah.
This is why it is kind of fun. The past, we'll see how fast we go through it or whatever else. But let's take a look at the power rankings and agree, disagree. At number one, it's the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, you can't disagree with that.
Mm-mm.
So off that, I have to ask you a question.
Yep.
So right now, as it sits, number one, who would you fear for going against as a quarterback right now? Dak Prescott or Murray?
Wow. Fear.
And I want you to tell me why you didn't pick the other guy.
Okay. It's Dak Prescott. I fear more. I don't know if Kyler Murray can continue this pace. His legs kind of fell out from under him last year. We all were like basking in the glory of the Hail Murray and like, how great is this? This guy might be league MVP. He probably was the favorite right after I think he was the favorite going into the Hail Murray, and then after that, it all just went downhill. Now Dak obviously had some injuries and injury history, but I think it's Dallas. I really do. Arizona has got a good defense, but God, they just look so shaky sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong; they beat up the Browns.
Right.
But I also watched the Cowboys beat up the Giants. Like, beat up the Giants.
Yeah, ripping helmets off.
And I saw what they did to Mac Jones. So, like, I'm like, that defense, they'll hit you. Arizona's got a fast defense. And that game wouldn't have been close if that dumb, 66-yard or 76-yard Hail Murray that they did at the end of the half. So it would have been more of a blowout against the Browns. But I'm going with Dak. The reason why is I don't know if I trust Kyler Murray just yet. And that's why. And also, oddly enough, Cliff Kingsbury is probably the favorite to win Coach of the Year.
I hope not. So I hope Jim Harbaugh gets it.
Okay.
The reason why is look at his roster. Look how many injuries he has, and he's still winning.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And we should probably pull up the odds for that. Yeah, he is. And who just is the running back now? I don't know. Everyone's picking him up.
I think he came out of the bleachers.
Yeah, you guys got to take a look at whoever it is because waiver wire. It's so many teams on a bye this week. So number 2, they have the Buffalo Bills. They're 4-2 on the year. They lost to the Steelers to start the season.
Yeah,
but then they went out and they shut out 2 teams that weren't that good.
I was thinking about this.
But they did win against Kansas City, but everyone loves Kansas City.
I was thinking about this in the gym, and I started thinking about the Titans' first loss being that the preseason was knocked down. Do you think anything is going to have an effect with the preseason not being as long as it used to be as far as records go?
Like week 1, like just kind of be like, eh.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, I felt like didn't have his legs under him until like week 2, week 3.
Yeah, well, just had 17 carries, then he went up to 35. He doubled it from week 1 to week 2. So
how much, I guess, do you put into that first week of football? Is basically what I'm getting at.
I don't think I'm with you. I don't think now looking back on it, like the Steelers won, not that big of a deal. But last night was kind of I think Buffalo just blew that. But they were also on the road. But we also started off the show saying it's not
there's no
the whole home field advantage.
Right.
Does it mean more to Tennessee because of they were bringing up the Music City Miracle? I don't know.
I think you're going to see that in the AFC Championship, those 2 teams.
And like I said yesterday, though, if this game was week 14, I would have told you Titans all the way because that just seems what they do. When they get through the halfway point, they just turn it on and they win games and they beat up on the AFC South. The next thing you know, they're in the AFC Championship.
But like you said earlier in the show as well, is a couple bad bounces go the other way, and Buffalo wins that game.
Yep. And just kick the field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. We all appreciate that. If he misses, then we go, whoa, Josh Allen, he's a potential MVP. Yep. So, I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But, yeah, kick the field goal, go for overtime. But maybe they just saw something like our defense is just being shredded by Henry, and we got to do something. Because not only was he running the ball, he's like, well, we don't have receivers?
I'll catch it, too. Why
Sure.
not?
I'll do that.
I'll paint the fence when I'm done here, too.
Yeah. Number 3 at 5-1 is the Los Angeles Rams.
I could flip flop 1 or 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could too. They've got again only 1 loss though. I don't know. They looked good last week, but then who knows what's going to happen because Stafford could have an off day or whatever else. Yeah, get hurt. They've got Detroit this week at home.
Ooh, what do you think? What is that, an afternoon game? What game is that?
That is an afternoon game. That'll be a 3:05 kickoff.
Let's say how many times they bring up Stafford being back home.
So bad. It's so many. It's Goff coming back home. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be so many times, and now it's already being hammered in on ESPN.
Are they going to have a Tom Brady directed, Steven Spielberg directed commercial with him coming back?
Yeah. So, and then McVay regrets how the trade unfolded. No, you don't. Yeah. You were fine. You came out and were like,
you guys did mojitos afterwards.
Yeah. And you're like, but they came and they were like, yeah, they were cheer. They were eating in Cancun in a restaurant, doing shots of tequila and laughing about it. 48 hours later, yeah, we felt like we were quarterback short. Now we don't. Yeah. Wait, you're talking about a human being, and now you're like, sorry about how that went down. Yeah, and he's like, I guess he just said I'll try to learn from some things that I can do better. That's what McVay said. He said on Monday, and I think I was one. He said, yes, I wish there was better, clear communication. No, anyway,
I feel bad for Golf. He reminds me of the neighbor kid that you played with until you got to school and you got to play with your real friends.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good point. Oh my God! But the thing is now their coach Campbell is he's got to play better. It wasn't like the week before or whatever else. He's like, this guy. Wait a minute, we traded for him. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't trade for him. But yeah, it is. It's the guy that because you're not allowed to cross busy streets and whatever else, and then kids playing wiffle ball with you or. Football 2-hand touch or whatever you do, tackle football, and then you go to school and you're like, hey.
Yeah, gotta go.
Hey. That's really hitting me. You're I wish I would have handled that friendship better. That's what the whole time you're laughing about.
Boy, I'm glad I called him.
Yeah. So McVay said that he thinks he'll be received well for Goff's return. Sure.
Yeah.
I think the LA fans and I think the Rams fans know what a great job he had done and how much for how many years? Like,
I think they fell asleep and woke up and like, oh, he was our quarterback. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I got him in the playoffs. So all right, in the championship. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-1.
Yep.
Previously 4. That
Yep.
makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. They've had some injuries, but I don't see anything there. At number 5, up from number 6, is the Dallas Cowboys.
I could flip flop 4 and 5.
Even though they lost to them in the opener?
Yeah, because I think they're a different team. Like if we go back to what we were talking about with the first game, Dak coming back for his first game, first full speed. Like, okay, totally different quarterback now. If you go look at his passing rating and his completion, 100% different.
Cowboys are at 5-1. Here's the rest of their schedule. And I know Eddie just called or whatever else because they're coming. So they play Minnesota on Halloween. At Minnesota, they should be favored in that game. Home against Denver, should be favored in that game.
Yep.
Home against Atlanta, should be favored in that game. Depending on what Kansas City does and how Dallas looks in those games, they're at Kansas City.
Kansas City's shaky right now. That could be a toss-up.
That one's going to be interesting. Home against Las Vegas, they should be favored in that one. At New Orleans on those back-to-back Thursday nights, that'll be the Las Vegas one will be Thanksgiving. Then the following Thursday night game at New Orleans, should be favored in that one.
Yep.
At Washington, should be favored in that one.
Yes.
At New York, should be favored in that one.
Division games, they should be favored.
Yeah. Then they have Washington again, should be favored. Then they host Arizona, and we have to keep an eye on that one. And then week 18, January 9th, they can sit everybody. They already have a 3-game lead in the East, and they can just be like, all right, Philadelphia, you guys can win this one.
Yeah.
But you have to pay attention to where they're kind of going with the depth chart. But even with their backups, Philadelphia shaky. Who knows? Gardner Minshew could come in and take over that quarterback position there.
Here's Dallas's biggest opponent, fat Jason Garrett.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's going to be, they're going to, in the end, it'll be like we're one coach away from winning it. One good coach.
Yep.
Now, where they're going to find it, I don't know. Or one
Belichick.
more.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking this.
Okay.
So we're looking at, Tom Brady versus Belichick. Belichick, this, got to show having a winning season. I think he's right now, the way the season's going, is looking at giving McDonald's that team. McDaniels, yeah, that team.
I'm real suspect now about McDaniels because, look, he failed in Denver, and maybe he was just good under Tom Brady.
Yeah, but he's look at what's his name though. He's doing pretty well under him and the offensive coordinator, as an offensive coordinator.
McDaniels has.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. I like the story of McDaniels. All right, he went to Denver and he failed, but as he was doing it, and he said to Dad, his father, he's like, I failed. I didn't do it. His dad's like, I want you to start writing down everything you would have done differently, everything. So he's got notebooks of things. Now, that's great and all, but if the year that you're all injured and Tom Brady isn't there, it was theirs last year, and it doesn't go out well and Tom Brady sees the writing on the wall, he gets out of there, and then you have your last year, and now you have this year. I don't know if he's that great of offensive coordinator or was it Tom Brady?
Well, and he's got Jones. He's playing really well.
Yeah.
It seems that they have good rapport with each other. I don't think it's too crazy he's knows the Kraft family.
I would assume he's the coach in waiting. I assume that. I assume when he went to the Colts and they were like, because Belichick has allowed assistants to go and they've failed. Mm-hmm. All right, he's like, I don't care. Go sign somewhere else. But this is the one time that he, after he left, he failed and he brought him back, and then he was at the Colts, hired for a day.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, don't sign that paperwork. Don't fax that in. You stay with us. So it's got to be a thing of you're going to be the coach someday. And they had to be a under the table agreement, as long as you give me your word that when you step out. Now, Belichick's got 2 kids on his coaching staff.
Yeah.
That one crazy one.
With the mullet.
Yeah. I think what you're speculating at is that maybe
how many losing seasons is he going to have, or non-playoff appearance seasons is he going to have before he starts tarnishing his career?
Yeah. Are you saying that maybe
out.
he goes to Dallas if they're one quarterback, one coach away?
Troy, I hope you're listening. I think.
Yeah.
You're one coach away. You give that Belichick a call.
Not bad. At number 6, your vote for Coach of the Year, John Harbaugh, the Baltimore Ravens at 5-1, the team that I have been the most distant on, where I just don't believe it, and they do it Sunday in and Sunday out.
He's just a phenomenal coach right now.
He is a good coach. Yeah.
Just the meme of him talking, you want to go for fourth down, you want to go for fourth, then go for it. Like,
yeah.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Polar opposite from his brother.
Yeah. Number 7, very much. Number 7, the Green Bay Packers. They had them. They have them getting leapfrog. Last week they had the Packers at 5.
I'm okay with that.
They've won 5 straight, but
look who they beat.
I know.
Yeah, I know Erickson's probably getting upset, but a win's a win, I guess. But they haven't blown anyone out. Like last week, I thought they would have had a bigger win, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their offense just kind of pittered out. And their defense isn't phenomenal. I mean...
No, it's not. And they've got injury. They're starting to get some injuries piling up. At number 8, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I would flip 7 and 8. I think the Chargers are better all around than the Packers.
And it's a tougher division.
Yeah.
I like that division a lot more. Number 9 at 3-3, the Kansas City Chiefs. That's disrespectful to the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah,
it really is disrespectful to them after what they've done, especially like last night. But, yeah, 3-3. Tennessee Titans are at 10. 4-2.
No, they should be up.
This is an interesting one because it's more like a thing. We're so used to the Cincinnati Bengals that we're like, huh? They're 4-2. So like, all right. But yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow's looking better and better every week. I just don't get his injuries are so weird to me, like the throw contusion one type of thing.
His hair hurt. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
But Chase looks good, the receiver, and forget all that preseason nonsense. He's been great. 12-3-3, the Cleveland Browns. I don't think they should be that high. I might be out on the Browns as the darlings of the NFL. Everyone wanted to pick them for the second year in a row.
What do you think them blaming Baker Mayfield for all their woes?
I think it's
scapegoat.
Yeah, but I think I wouldn't want Baker Mayfield to be my franchise quarterback. I never did. I thought it was crazy when they did first. They got him at the first number 1 pick, but he's just not my type of guy. That's all. But he's all banged up. It's his non-throwing shoulder. Nick Chubb is out. Kareem Hunt
is going to be out for several weeks.
Yeah, both offensive tackles are injured. They're in some serious trouble. And the defense has surrendered 84 points over the past 2 weeks. Las Vegas Raiders at 13 at 4-2, just winning despite all that. We'll just keep winning. I like that, And that was a tough one to win in Denver. That's a big rivalry. It's AFC West. So, New Orleans Saints at 3-2. Okay.
Yep.
I don't feel like I've watched a single game of theirs outside of Week 1 when they beat the Packers, and that was almost a kind of a fluky Week 1 type of thing. So maybe if Jameis Winston gets a little bit more comfortable, and then whenever they get Michael Thomas back, which should be soon, right?
Yeah, but the last 2 years, man, I don't know. Like, I'm starting to wonder about that guy. Like, what's going on? Is he like mentally checked out? Like, it's just weird how he's getting these season-ending injuries or season-long injuries.
15 Pittsburgh Steelers, blah. 16 Minnesota Vikings. Okay, Vikings are the same way. I watch them in the lead in the game, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
They got a baseball score for all their games.
Yeah, they do have a pretty strong 5-game stretch coming out of bye week, so we'll see where that ends up with them. Carolina Panthers 3-3. 49ers at 2-3. Boy, they've been in every game, and the argument is they could be 5-0 or 0-5, but they're not. They're 2-3. They have a 3-game losing streak. But those 3 losses are against teams that were considered like preseason, like playoff contenders. So they got some injuries, but they have a tough schedule. The Bears are 3-3. They have them at 19.
You think if they finish above 500, Nagy keeps his job?
Yeah, I do. I don't think anything's going anywhere. But I mean, I'd like to put him on the hot seat, but I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't seem like there's like a lot of talk coming out of Chicago like that's, they're speculating behind closed doors type of thing.
Right.
Like on the Ed Ogeron thing, they were like, they're not going to fire him, but this was before the game in Florida, but they said like there will be behind closed door meetings tonight after this game, and they, regardless of the win, they're like, yeah, you're not coming back. So there's a lot of things that they're talking about here that are happening at LSU. That friend Chopper from Locals Love Us sent me an article about his practice, and wives and girlfriends are there of players, and coaches are there, and almost like kids are running routes. The kids of these people, and I guess he hit on maybe athletic director's wife at a gas station. I don't know. All kinds of crazy.
Did he do the Macarena with her?
No, he did not. Not that I know of. 20, the Denver Broncos. Patriots at 21, 2-4. I think that's just being nice. Colts at 2-4. They're at 22. Seattle Seahawks at 23. Eagles at 24. They're just taking 2-4 teams and just throwing them against the wall.
I mean, you could argue those all day long.
Mm-hmm. And they got the Lions at 32 at 0-6. So we'll see what happens there with the Lions. They have the Giants at 31, Texans at 1. They just went 1-5. After this point, they just got lazy. Everyone's just like, well, if you have 2 losses, you get to be higher than a 1 loss, and if you have 0 wins, and if you have 0 wins, you're just going to put you dead last. So I can see it, but it's really the top, because every week we look at it, we're like, oh, yeah, they're.
You can make a case for everybody.
I can now make a case for the top 10, all that can be there, and I don't want to count out the Chiefs because of who they are and what they can do, but so I'm fine with them 9. I just think Titans should have been maybe up a little bit higher, but I don't know if the Bengals have it to make it into the playoffs. I don't think the Browns do anymore. Raiders, I don't know. So those guys are all outside the top 10, but we definitely.
I think the Raiders have a fighting chance beating Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going to help them out overall. I mean,
you got to beat the Chiefs, though. That'll be that'll be a big one. So, and you got to beat the Chargers as well. It's NFC West, AFC West are both strong ones. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, let's look at the franchise passing leaders. Let's take a guess.
All right,
let's do the ACTs all over again in the second hour. All right, we'll be right back. Don't hassle us for local, ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Josh Sides, head coach, St. Ambrose University Esports. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
What's your car's monthly payment? There's a good chance that First Midwest Bank can lower it. Just like refinancing a mortgage, First Midwest Bank can refinance your auto loan too. That means lower payments, lower interest rates, and higher monthly savings. Plus, you can wait up to 60 days to make your first payment. Go to firstmidwest.com/auto-refi to apply and drive down your car payments today. Member FDIC, subject to credit approval, vehicle insurance required.
So as you guys know, Mark's gone.
The float artist at Fred's Floral just took off, days before the parade. They need a replacement before business passes them by.
And who am I going to get to finish the float?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a QC pro? Well, you might be if you know what Quad Cities Pizza is and you love it. And commuting across the river is the norm. If you know Quad means more than 5, and Cody Road is a sweet sip. For everything you know, you could become a QC Pro, plus get local rewards. Go to QuadCitiesPro.com. You know you wanna.
Brought to you by Visit Quad Cities and this Town Square Media radio station.
Oh, excuse me?
Yes?
Is your apartment empty?
No, all my stuff's there.
Like what?
My big screen TV, computer, iPod, etc.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Because your landlord's property insurance doesn't cover those things from fire, vandalism, and theft.
Oh.
But if you had renter's insurance, they'd be covered.
I gotta go back home. I think I left my oven on or something.
Protect your possessions with renter's insurance. Contact Jorgensen Insurance in the Quad Cities. Online at jorgenseninsurance.com.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. Plus, clean up your yard before the snow comes. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, or SUV, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or check them out online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction in Coal Valley.
Get in on the action with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa is where the pros play. Enjoy the highest limits, lowest takeouts, and competitive betting menus. Download, fund, and bet from anywhere in Iowa. Circa Sports Iowa. Sports betting the way it should be. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com. Must be over 21 and present in Iowa to bet. Have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Fantastic finish in Tennessee, trailing by 3 in the final seconds. Bills driving down to the Titans' 3-yard line. Bills can send the game to overtime with a field goal, but instead they went for the win. And Josh Allen came up just short on the QB sneak as the Titans beat the Bills 34-31. Not to be outdone, Derrick Henry, who finished with 143 yards and 3 touchdowns, his 5th straight 100-yard game. Elsewhere, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport says Dak Prescott is looking good after an MRI on his calf. The Cowboys quarterback said he came down funny on the final play of the Cowboys' OT win versus the Pats. The plan is for Dak to rest and rehab during the team's bye week. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
I'm pretty sure our new house might be haunted.
What makes you say that?
The furniture is levitating. Oh, and the ghost.
Welcome home.
Yeah, that's spooky.
You know what's really scary? Missing out on Geico for help with homeowners and renters insurance. Geico makes it easy to save a bunch.
Great. You're not sticking around, right?
The party's just getting started.
Happy Geico Week. Call today and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBLB Davenport, a Town Square media station.
All right, we're back here, ESPN 1170 AM. Listen to Don't Hassle Us, we're local. Just got done looking at some power rankings for the NFL. We've got 2 Major League Baseball games tonight, starting with Dodgers and Braves. Braves at the Dodgers. And then that'll be Charlie Morton versus Walker Buehler. And then you've got Astros at Boston. Yeah. And let's see, Boston leads that 2-1. The Braves lead 2-0. They're going to Los Angeles for the first time. Who do you like tonight?
I like the Red Sox. I think they're on fire right now. It's hard to beat a team that comes into October as hot as they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that they're going to make the run. And Braves, I just don't like the Dodgers for some reason. I have no reason other than they're from LA.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlanta hasn't been there in a long time. So
yeah, I mean, it'd be fun when 3 o'clock first pitch, so it's coming up here real soon. That game will be at 3 and the other one's at 7. Then we got the NBA that's tipping off tonight, and now we're just 2 days away from more NFL football. All right, so in the first hour, I had you guess the leading, every NFL's team all-time rushing leader. So let's take a look at every NFL team's all-time leading passer ranked by total yardage. All right?
And their EA Sports rating.
Yeah. So it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think I can know a lot more names this round, even the older guys.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a little bit easier than the other ones, but there are some tough ones. Let's just go through it.
Okay.
And I'm just going down the list because they do it by number of yards anyway. So New England Patriots.
Tom Brady.
Very good. From 2000 to 2019, 74,571 yards.
They only mentioned it 110 times when they played.
The Saints.
That'd be Drew Brees.
Absolutely.
Not Archie Manning.
No. The Green Bay Packers.
Oh, man. That's a toss-up between Rodgers, Brett Favre.
It is. From 1992 to 2007. 61,655 yards. Miami Dolphins.
Dan Marino. It's the only quarterback they've ever had.
And that's right. Pittsburgh Steelers.
I want to say Ben Ross. No, Jerry Bradshaw.
It is not.
Oh, dang it.
2004 to present. 60,000 plus.
Huh?
Yeah, 60,000 plus yards. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
I thought that was too easy.
The Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers.
That would have to be just retired.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, yeah.
Yep. 15 years in the league, just under 60,000 passing yards. The New York Giants.
Eli Manning.
Absolutely. Again, another man. He had 15 years in the league, 57,023 passing yards.
Questionable Hall of Fame career.
It is questionable, but he'll get in. I mean,
Super Bowl
two Super Bowl wins.
Yeah,
he's the leading Giants. Yeah. What is he? Is he like career record like 500 or something like that as a starter? Yeah.
That's what the big argument.
Yeah, but Joe
is.
Namath is in.
I can't. He shouldn't be.
He should not be in. It's terrible. His stats are so bad.
Yeah, that irritates me. You can be angry now, Jay.
The Atlanta Falcons.
I'd have to say Matt Ryan.
It is Matt Ryan indeed. 55,706.
Can you name a quarterback other than Matt Ryan? I can't. That's why I said Matt Ryan.
For Atlanta?
Yeah.
Vic.
Oh, yeah, but
who is
passing leader though?
Who was their quarterback in '98 when they went? That's a great question. Who else has been Atlanta's quarterback? Nope, I can't.
That's why I think this is easier because
it's because of passing records, because the game changed so much to protect the quarterbacks. Yep. You know the names a lot more. Indianapolis Colts.
That'd be another Manning brother.
That's right. Denver Broncos.
Another Manning brother. No, John Elway.
But he was the GM or whatever else when he was there. Detroit Lions.
Ooh, this is a tough one. Golf just got there, so it's not him.
It is not Goff.
I cannot. I can't come up with a name for this one.
Sure you can. Think of the Goff trade.
Oh, yeah, Stafford.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford.
Duh.
Yeah, fun fact, he went to high school with Clayton Kershaw. I hate how they're not doing that anymore. I don't understand. They're both in L.A. now.
Yeah, and now they quit saying it.
Every other time it's in Detroit, he's like, hey, did you know? And now they're both in L.A. and they're like, oh, it's not that fun of a fact anymore. I'm like, well, now they're in the same city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neighbors. They're playing together.
Baltimore Ravens.
Flacco.
That is correct.
Do you think he'll be passed by Jackson?
38,245 yards, 10 years. And yeah, I would assume so.
I would think so. As long as he doesn't get hurt running.
Yeah. Buffalo Bills.
Jim Kelly.
Absolutely. 49ers.
You got to go with Joe Montana, but I mean you could also think Steve Young, but I'd say Montana.
It is Joe Montana. All right, now it's going to get a little interesting here and there. Arizona / St. Louis / Chicago Cardinals.
Nah, negative.
Played from 1966 to 1983.
That's quite a year.
Yeah, quite a career, yeah. Jim Hart.
Nope.
Nope.
Guess that.
No, I would not have. The Dallas Cowboys.
Starbuck.
No.
Oh. Aikman.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Tony Romo?
It is. Tony Romo.
Way.
Yeah.
I lose that bet every time. I
2004 to 2016, 34,183 yards. I wonder what the fantasy stats looked like for those guys back when it was such a big running back heavy league. Like, what was his average per game for like Troy Aikman? These are the things like I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, because he had Emmitt Smith or whatever else, but still. Seattle Seahawks.
That'd be Matt. What's his name?
Hasselbeck?
Hasselbeck, yes.
No, it is not.
Oh, what?
No. It is Russell the Love Muscle.
Is it really?
Yep, 2012 to present. He's got 33,946 yards. Tennessee Titans / Houston Oilers.
That'd be Warren Moon.
Absolutely.
Just because the Oilers.
Minnesota Vikings.
This is a good one. I'm just going to throw Cousins out there.
No, this guy played from 61 to 66 and then 72 to 78 for the Vikings. Took him to 4 Super Bowls. Lost all of them. Fran Tarkenton.
Oh, Tarkenton, yes.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Zach.
You know him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good in Madden as quarterback challenge. Donovan McNabb.
That's right. 1999 to 2009, 32,873 yards. Cincinnati Bengals.
That would be, he was in those commercials. I just said his name.
It's not Boomer.
It's not Boomer, huh?
No. Man played at Augustana.
Oh, really?
That's right.
No clue.
Ken Anderson from 71 to 1986. 32,838 yards. Carolina Panthers.
No. No clue.
Cam Newton.
Is it really?
Yep. You know, like you could have thought Kerry Collins because he came in when they came in, and I don't know how long he was there, though. Kerry ended up at the Giants, though, as well, so I don't know how long he played for him. Cam Newton has 29,041 yards. Kansas City Chiefs / Dallas Texans. Whatever. This one's out there. 1962 to 1975. Yeah. Len Dawson, that's going to be topped in any minute now by Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
28,507 yards. New York Jets.
That is Joe Namath.
It is Joe Namath. 27,057 yards. Mark Brunell. Oops, sorry. I'm too busy like Jacksonville Jaguars. Anyway.
I wouldn't have got that.
That's what happens there. Anyway, Washington football team.
That would be Theismann.
It is Theismann. 74 to 85. 25,206 yards. Los Angeles Rams.
Warner?
You would think, right?
Yeah.
It's Jim Everett with 23,758 yards. 86 to 93.
I think Warner had that in the one season.
I feel like it.
Yeah.
Huh. Did they break that down by his careers? I'll look up Warner in a second. Let me come back to Warner here because
write that down.
I'm going to look at somebody because we're going to talk about somebody else. Okay. Cleveland Browns.
No clue.
Don't worry about it. No one else does either. 1974 to 1983, 23,713. No, Brian Sipe.
Sipe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even, 83, I was not following NFL.
Samsonite, I was way off.
Chicago Bears.
Oh, man. Sid Luckett.
Nope.
Oh, then McMahon.
No.
Rex Grossman.
No.
I don't know.
My man, Smokin' Jay.
Really?
He's got to be on Monday Night Football. The Bears on Monday Night Football this year. I'm sure they are. We got to get Smokin' Jay on Monday Night Football. Houston Texans. This is a guy for years. All I ever did was call him I was like, he looks like Don Flamenco from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And then the crazy thing about his career, because do you remember Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
Yeah.
How as the rounds went on, Don Flamenco, he would start balding.
Yep.
That's the same thing when I saw this guy. Like they'd show his face.
That's a good analogy.
And then every year, I'm like, he's Don Flamenco. He looks like Don Flamenco from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Yep. You're on it.
I can't think of his last name.
Schaub,
yeah.
Yep, 2007, 2013, 23,000. Las Vegas, Oakland Raiders.
You got to go with the Snake.
That's a great one. No.
You're going to tell me car or something stupid.
I am going to tell you car.
What?
2014 to present, 26,896 yards. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That is my boy, Vinny The man, Testaverde.
It is not.
Oh, my God. Does this guy get no love?
None. This is going to be Jameis Winston. 19,737 yards.
But you deduct interception yards, and he's below Vinny Testaverde.
If right now, just under 7,000 yards is for Tampa Bay is Tom Brady. He could, realistically, he's averaging 304 yards per game in Tampa Bay in 2 years. And this year he's averaging 344 yards per game. All right. So they are 5-1.
And you got the extra game, so he could break that.
Yeah, that's why I said I want to put a pin on the other one, because I want to see where he's at. So let's see. So it's a 17-game season, right?
Yep.
344 is what he's averaging. So we're going to do 344 times 11, right? Am I off here? Yeah.
No, 11.
Okay. 344 times 11. So that's 3,000 more there that he's going to put in. So it's going to put him over, if he stays on pace, that'll put him over the 10,000. He's got to play 2 more years and he could be the franchise leader in Tampa Bay too.
And he could do it.
He could definitely do it. That is nuts. All right, now I'm going to look up Kent Warner. And by the way, I say that with love, but I'll never forget. People don't forget, Kent, that when you came back to UNI to be the Grand Marshal of the homecoming parade, P&P on Main Street in Cedar Falls wrote, "Welcome home, Kent Warner." So I never forget. It's like
I'd never heard that before.
Oh yeah, so I was up at school then. I was up in Cedar Falls, and he came back, and they're like, "Welcome back," and it said, "Welcome back, Kent Warner," and I thought it was hilarious. And it reminds me all the time of the movie Superbad.
Yeah.
When he's like, they're playing soccer, and he's like, "You remember when you peed your pants?" And he's like, "That was like 9 years ago." He's like, "People don't forget." Well, yeah, I don't forget either. Kurt Warner only had 14,447 yards for St. Louis in 6 seasons.
That does not sound right.
No, he only averaged 272 yards per game.
No.
Yeah. That's a
good
6
bar
years.
bet right there.
Yeah. Let's see here. In his years there, because he took over a starter in '99, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yards
That's
per game.
High flying offense too.
The first year he only averaged 272. Then he was 311, and then 301, and then in his last year at St. Louis, he only averaged 182.5. But he got hurt. He only played 2 games. Yeah, he only played 2 games. Only started 1. He was 0-1 as a starter. And then in 2000, that was 2003. In 2002. He only saw appearance in 7 games, started 6 of them. He was 0-6 in those games. So, yeah, it kind of fell to the wayside there.
I guess your mind automatically goes to that high-flying offense. You're like,
the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
Huh. Those are the ones that really, like, I wanted to, because the Tampa Bay one, I'm like, I think he might be close, and of course, but the St. Louis one, with the LA Rams, St. Louis, I would have easily been like, no, it's Kurt Warner, not Jim Everett. I mean, again, the time he played there, 86 I think they said 92 or whatever else. Still kind of West Coast. We don't have direct TV. We don't see everybody the way we see everybody now. Not as much coverage of 24/7 of NFL stuff on ESPN. Right. So not really much breaking down the X's and O's like they do now. Speaking of breaking down X's and O's, loved seeing Alex Smith on the sideline last night.
Yeah,
he looks good.
He does.
Yeah.
I liked him out there.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I was happy to see him do that, and I for every time, like, there are some people, there are journalists out there that go to school to do this stuff, and then there's these ex-players that just come in and they're doing good things with these players. They're teaching them along the way. They're letting them know that as they're playing, their career is going on, that there is a career outside of playing. And a lot of these athletes are taking advantage of these CEs, the continuing education courses that they're giving them to teach them to do these things, to break this stuff down.
Have you ever sat in senior night for football games and listened to what a lot of these players are taking and graduating from? A lot of them are the journalists.
Really?
Education. Yeah, at least in Illinois. Like when I went to the homecoming game, last year at least, the senior night, they announced what they were studying, what they were graduating with, and a lot of it was communications and journalism.
No, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it just blew my mind, and then you mentioned that is like, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and if on top of it, if you can get hooked up with the thing, even if, let's say you don't have an illustrious career in the NFL, you don't get drafted or whatever else, but you do have the background of sports, you can also end up working for something in the NFL, being the teacher of this stuff for these kids.
Well, look at Golick Jr. He's making a living off of it.
Oh, my God, yeah. I would have never.
No. His dad helped him out, too.
Yeah, I know. There was a little nepotism there, but, yeah, he's all over the map, too. And, you know, if you follow it, which I do, they move parts around ESPN quite a bit, and you know who's doing well and who isn't, who's getting the listens and whatnot. And whoever was in the morning with Jay Will and Keyshawn, that wasn't cutting it.
No.
Now, there's always speculation that, like, Stephen A. didn't really care for Max Kellerman on First Take, but either way, they needed to move something out there, and I think he's got a good fit there. I don't mind Max Kellerman, to be honest with you.
I don't either. I think he has some really good takes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that he sticks by what he says. He doesn't, flutter off of.
The only time
it's not a popular pick, then he doesn't pick it type deal.
I would say the same about Orlovsky, except for the whole when he had to dial back the Justin Fields stuff.
Yeah.
When he got called out by Herb Street, because he said like, "Oh, he's not a leader," or whatever else, and Herb Street was like, "Wait a minute, no, that's not true. There's not a single person in Ohio State that would say that." And by the way, he basically led the players, the college football players, to the Big Ten commissioner to say we want to play.
Right.
And he did have to dial that back. Other than that, he's usually pretty much sticks to what he says. I don't really care too much for him, but oh well. I know T-Roy doesn't like him, but yeah, it's not a popularity contest amongst him. All right, that's going to be it for today. We got to do our ads, and then we're going to call it a day. No show tomorrow. I got to step away from the studio. We'll be back on Thursday. I'll talk to you off the air, and we'll try to figure out your schedule and whatnot, Adam. But thank you so much for being here today. This was a lot of fun.
Appreciate it.
And then, we'll look into Thursday as well. All right, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the weather for the hours that we have it. I don't know how much longer it's going to be like this. It's supposed to get up to 73 today. And just a quick look at the rest of the week.
Yeah, get out and golf a little bit.
Tomorrow, 73, and the rest of them are going to be all sub 60, except for Monday we'll go above the 60s again. And hey, good on you, global warming.
It's coming.
I'm fine with that. Hey, if you guys want to throw that out of the budget package because of whatever, some Democrat in West Virginia won't vote for it, I'm all for it. Good job, global warming. All right, Quad Cities, we'll see you later. And stay safe and sanitized.
This is Randall, the QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
From lines of credit in Chicagoland